And we are back!
For the first time.
What do you mean by for the first time?
Well, didn't we,
Oh, that's right. We went through a little, I guess, some...
A little bit of a facelift.
Rebranding, so to say, right?
Right.
It's no longer the OIC podcast.
Because let's be honest, the OIC was a joke.
Yeah, I mean...
Inside joke intended.
It took a little while for people to catch on, but I guess sooner or later they caught on. But
and plus, I was tired of people oiking at me.
Oiking? Like,
yeah.
yoink! Oik!
Yeah, apparently that's what they think OIC sound like when they make a sound. Like, I'm not a pig. Okay.
So, we're back here, and the new title, the new headline, I guess, so to speak.
Pretty much, it's self-explanatory. It's
two guys.
A podcast.
And
whatever we want to talk about.
Exactly. Whatever we feel like this day. And just so happens, today's episode, this episode, is for our wrestling fans out there. And we're going to do a little bit of a review, so to say, of NXT Rival. What do you think about it so far?
First, I don't like the name.
You don't like the name NXT Rival?
Now, if it would have been like Rivals...
Okay.
I'm being picky. I'm not lying.
You're being overly picky. Because the whole purpose of, every single match, not every single match, but most of the matches, the concept was a rivalry that was ongoing.
Well, but like I said, it was just. I think it would have been better if it was called NXT Takeover Rivals.
That makes sense, I guess, some sense. But Rival was short and sweet, to the point, easy to get along.
It's just one letter.
You're just being picky with one letter. Hey, maybe they had to save some space. Okay, who knows? Maybe searching it was too long. Okay.
Well, they can restructure some contracts to add a letter in there.
One letter makes a big difference.
I'm just saying, Romo did it, Brady did it, Aaron Rodgers did it.
You know what? Those guys make millions of dollars. These performers don't make that much just yet. So let's jump right into it here and start off with the opening match, which saw the new rivalry of Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze.
I thought that match was a solid.
It was
3.5 out of 5, only because it could have been better, but
it was an opening match. It was the match to whet your palate, so to say.
You mean
get you ready for what's to come later on in the show? You know.
Hold on. Wait. Are you talking dirty right now?
No.
You said wet and come.
What? No. Okay.
Just kidding. I have a dirty mind.
It was just the beginning match, opening match to get the fans hyped up.
No. I understand. No, what I mean by it could have been better is because it could have been better with the two guys that were in the ring. I'm not saying the match was poor quality. It's just we know that they could have gone a little longer and put on some more magic.
Well, time constraints. They only get so much time.
I find it funny you're saying time constraints now when I've told you that 4 times right now.
But yeah, it was good. It was a decent match. You give it 3.5. I'll give it about 3.5. Like you said, could have been longer. It was right. It was right amount of time for the opening match.
Mm-hmm.
The match that followed.
I like Baron Corbin.
Okay,
I like his look.
I like the two guys. The two guys for what they're supposed to be. Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin, bruisers, big guys that just love to fight.
Right.
The problem I have with this match, it was a no disqualification match between the two of them.
Uh-huh.
And we did not see the weapons come into play at all.
I'm starting to think that sometimes, because we talked about this. Like, remember when Triple H had his Hell in a Cell match with
The Undertaker at WrestleMania,
right? And then when you had Dean Ambrose and
Seth Rollins
with their it's like the match has become like a proper a real gimmick now instead of like a real match.
Me personally, I would have had no problems with the match had we not been promised no disqualification. It was a good it was a reasonable singles competition between the two of them that showed Bull Dempsey getting frustrated to the point where he finally went and got a chair to try to win the match, and of course he lost. Now, had it just been a singles match where Bull Dempsey gets frustrated and goes outside the ring, gets a chair, and then loses, I'd have been fine with it. But when you throw in the stipulation and say, oh, it's a no disqualification match, but weapons don't come into play at all in the match,
especially with the guys that were in the ring.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure they could have done a lot more. Kendo sticks, steel chairs. They could have done so much more to why are you so happy for all of a sudden?
Well, I'm kind of new to the Twitter thing, right?
Is this something we should bring up later on? Maybe in another episode somewhere?
No, we're not going to bring it up. I just wanted to say that I left a comment on a tweet that AJ put celebrating her and CM Punk's love. And I made a little comment at the end that said 434, heart, 295, referring to their respective title reigns.
Yeah.
But I was thinking earlier, was it 435 or 434? So I found out it was 434, and I went back to look at the comment on the tweet.
You made the right...
Yeah, I made the right comment.
Okay. So, let's get back to the match here. I mean, that match, I give it 1 star out of 5. I can't see myself giving it higher than that. Just because they promised something and did not deliver on that.
I'll give it a 2 out of 5, only because I can see potential with this rivalry going a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And they did beat the crap out of each other.
But you could see that in a singles match.
But can you see that in a singles match without the story?
I guess. I mean, like I said, me personally, you tell me no disqualification match, I'm expecting to see chairs, tables. I'm expecting to see a lot of stuff get used here.
Well, I mean, you've also told me that Triple H and Undertaker's Hell in a Cell match was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches of all time.
But it was okay. I'll put you like this: that match was a good Hell in a Cell. It was a good match within a Hell in a Cell.
Right. And so this one, I think it was a decent match.
Okay, you convinced me to at least bump it up to a 2.
Okay.
But I'm not going to go higher than that just because you say no disqualification. And we don't. I mean, I would have even been happier if they had stayed outside the ring for almost the entire match.
Right. That make no sense. And what I mean by that is if you're gonna like you're right. If you're gonna have a no disqualification match, at least a chair shot, a table, somebody teasing you with weapons or something like that. Exactly. It's like having a false count anywhere match end inside of the ring.
Exactly.
That make no sense.
So next we move on to, of course, the Tag Team Championship match, which
that surprised me a lot.
In a good way or a bad way?
A good way.
Me personally, I liked how the match finished. I did not like how it started off. It started off kind of sloppy with Sin Cara and Kalisto messing up on a couple spots. But once they remembered where they were at and got their groove going, they picked it up from there. And both teams, Blake and Murphy, I mean, they showed up on their end. The Lucian Dragon showed up on there, and I guess maybe right on the halfway point of the match, they started showing up, and the match actually picked up in pace really well. I'm waiting to see if you're going to add anything to this.
No, I agree with you. Oh. I was going to wait till you get to a point that I disagreed with.
Oh, I mean, well, you did. You said something while we were watching it again. I was watching this the 3rd time I watched it.
Okay.
But you said that, and it's true, they hit moves that you would think would be finishers in the middle of the match.
They would be finishers in TNA.
Let's not go there.
No, but if you look at some of the crappy finishers on the main roster,
yeah,
like R-Truth is Lie Detector, and I hate to say it, but even Dean Ambrose's Dirty Deeds, it's just, to me, it's just a DDT. It looks like a little bit more powerful, but it's just a DDT. If his finishing move could have been one of the moves that we saw in that match,
yeah,
it would put him over even more.
Yeah, that was a good match. No, I'd give that one a 3.5 out of 5 easily. I think if it wasn't for the botches early on, I could have seen myself giving it a 4.
Right. I'm a little bit less critical, no offense, about some of the botches. If it's a botch between two wrestlers, let's say Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey.
Yeah.
If those guys were botching with the way that they go about matches, I would have criticized it even harder. But these guys,
they did botch one spot in that match, by the way.
What spot was that?
It was the clothesline over the top rope. They messed
That's
up.
a big dude.
I'm just saying.
You tried putting a 300 and something pound man over.
I'm just saying they did kind of botch one spot.
All right, well, but still, I mean, for them to do some of the moves that they were doing without really hurting themselves, I can kind of forgive that. So I'd give it 3.75.
3.75, not the full 4.
No.
Well, we had a little distraction there all of a sudden.
Technical difficulties.
I wish this would be a spot where we put in the technical difficulty music, but we don't really have any yet. But yes, I mean, you've given them a 3.75 out of 5, which not that bad. I mean, reasonable match. I guess, like you said, I'm more critical on.
I'm just a sucker for the high flying,
over the top
Daredevil.
Stuff.
Yeah. Like Jeff Hardy. I love Jeff Hardy.
Then we come to the first of 3 of the best matches of the night.
Okay.
With Finn Balor versus Adrian Neville.
When you have Magic in the ring going up against Magic,
in the ring,
you're gonna get Magic.
I mean, let's just start off with this. Finn Balor has by far one of the most entertaining entrances I think NXT has seen, and he only saves it for the big shows, of course.
I think you're over romanticizing his entrances a little bit, dude. But a lot of people find little things here and there to really like about somebody.
Dude, his mannerisms coming to the ring is just
in the music.
Yeah, it
I
just
like how
goes
it goes
well.
with the music.
It goes so well. I mean,
the only thing I don't like is when like he's consistently crawling, like even down the ramp. Like when he gets to the ramp, I would see him like I would like to see him standing up, but like still kind of crouching down as if he really was an animal or a creature or whatever. And then like whenever that music hits that little point, like dun, 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 and like he hit it like right off the bat instead of him jumping up and popping and like occasionally like missing the cue.
Yeah,
kind of like whenever Chris Masters would come out and he would pose and the music would go dun dun dun. Sometimes he didn't hit it, and like when he put his arms down like this, like Hogan, the music would go and then it would like boom dun, dun, dun. And sometimes he wouldn't hit it right when the music, you know.
But that's a little criticism on just the entrance. The match itself now, the fact that they found a way to keep, I mean, they kept Adrian Neville strong. At the same time, they put over Finn Balor.
Right.
And it wasn't one of those matches where, okay, we're going to make Finn Balor look so strong that Adrian Neville looks like a pushover. No, they had enough back and forth. Both guys hit powerful, like, strong moves on one another. I mean, they kept it to where Adrian Neville could pick up right where he left off and continue doing his thing. Finn Balor could move on to bigger and better things now, but
they legitimately made it Finn Balor versus the former NXT champion, not Finn Balor versus
some other
Adrian
guy.
Neville, some guy trying to make it.
It was a match that, I mean, pacing of it from start to finish was just well done. I mean, and
we saw Adrian Neville hit something. It wasn't his finisher, but it looked like it looked like Seth Rollins. It was
pretty much exactly like Seth Rollins, except he took it to a whole nother level by leaving off the second rope instead of the top rope.
Yeah, he went down a level.
I mean,
but still,
no. But this is the thing, though. He went down to the second rope. Think about it. That's less airtime for him to do all those turns.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, this is the man that gravity forgot.
It definitely forgot him tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, that match, there's just. And this is one thing that NXT, I guess, has become known for now in the past, since I guess Arrival, is they put out such good matches on every single one of their live events. And
it begs the question, like, who's writing this stuff for NXT? Why can't we get those guys up to the main roster, you know?
I think Triple H doesn't want them going yet. I think Triple H wants to keep them right where they're at for right now. I mean, look at it from this standpoint, right? NXT is giving fans something that they can't get on TV. They got to pay $9.99 for it.
Right.
Why ruin that? You know, it's smart marketing from WWE standpoint if you think about it.
Right. But it's just, to me, I love NXT. I really do. I don't keep up with it as much as I would like to, but I do like it. I'm just a little afraid that it's become so much of its own thing that people don't want to mess with it. You know, like, why are you putting like Bo Dallas? I know he was a heel. People don't like him very much, but I think he was amazing in NXT.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised if come 2 years from now, it's WWE having Raw and SmackDown, and NXT's its own little show somewhere.
I could see like you said earlier, like a Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Like, let's say
a little rivalry between the main roster and the NXT roster, maybe.
Right. Like the top 5 guys. It would have to be the top 5 guys in NXT because you can't have a pushover. You can't have somebody like CJ Parker or Mojo Rawley. It'd have to be somebody like Sami Zayn, Finn Balor.
That would be a good way to bring up like some of the top, like you said, the top 5 guys from NXT versus like maybe the 5 big mid cards.
Like Cesaro, maybe Ziggler if he turned heel,
Wade Barrett, and throwing maybe Seth Rollins' main event, so you can't really put him there.
Right, but you know what? That could be a really good side thing for Seth Rollins because I really like him in the authority role he's in. I don't think he's great on the mic, but I think he's maturing into a really good leader type, and I think. Remember how we talked about the main events don't always have to be in the main events?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have them in other things, like when CM Punk lost the title. He went up against Jericho. That match stole the night at Payback for me. He went up against the Wyatts and the Shield and Lesnar, and they kind of Shawn Michaeled him. You know what I'm saying? I think they could do that.
We'll continue this topic on our rundown. We'll continue this one on the rundown.
Well, I mean, we're just talking about
NXT. We get sidetracked so fast.
It's too easy. I mean, I really don't even see it as sidetrack because I'm sure the people listening to us,
they're like,
they want to hear what we have to say.
Well, we'll definitely continue the story on another one, but we got to move on to the Fatal 4-Way match, which, by God, that just when you thought the Finn Balor versus Adrian Neville match was going to be the match of the night, the Heat with his Fatal 4-Way match,
they give you a little deeper perspective.
Good God, that match just... All 4 women performed unbelievably. I mean, it was...
And that's the thing, like, you rarely see that. When was the last time you saw a Fatal 4-Way women's match, and let me hit you with some reality era, that wanted to be in the ring? That
exactly.
To be champion, that want to do what
it wasn't just so much... It wasn't so much that, but when was the last time you saw a Fatal 4-Way match where all 4 competitors shined? And it wasn't like one person gets left out in the dark or anything like that, you know? When was the last time you saw a Fatal 4-Way where all 4 shined from start to finish, you know?
Well, I can tell you one Fatal 4-Way where all 4 would shine, but that's for another time.
That's for another time. So, I mean, given the entire match, I mean, Bayley had her moments where she could have won it.
She hit a Bayley-to-belly suplex off the top.
It was the second or top, yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable. Sasha Banks had her... Well, she walked away with the victory. And she...
Deservedly so.
For all the stuff... For this entire match and all the stuff that's been going on the past several weeks on NXT, Sasha was probably the most deserving of them all to win the match.
Right.
Charlotte had moments where she could have won the match. Even I think the biggest underdog of the entire match, Becky Lynch, had moments where she could have won the match.
I wouldn't necessarily call her an underdog, and I would definitely see her more as somebody else that they threw in there to complement the other 3, but I think she did a really good job of it because she has her own attitude. Yeah, she kind of got into it with. Didn't she go into with Sasha Banks?
Yeah, she
on
got into
NXT.
Yeah, so I mean, they've had it's. I'm looking forward to see how these 4 how they move forward now with these 4.
I hope they don't drop the ball. I mean, the only thing that I've always noticed about the divas and the guys, that the guys, there's more titles to go after, more characters to build, more people to work with. With divas, is just one, and everybody wants to be champion, but not everybody can be champion. They just really got to work on the rivalries. Like, why are they rivaling with each other? I just hope that they keep the booking and the stories good with that.
I did like the little after the match hug.
I was confused by it a little bit.
Well, yeah, I remember they were best of friends at one point. Sasha finally wins it. Charlotte, being the person that she is now, congratulated her. It was nice to see them put aside their differences for that split second, just to, 2 friends happy that, one of them.
Well, I think that's reality era, right?
Exactly. It was good to see, and the little friendly shove at the end.
I don't think it was friendly.
Did you see? She was smiling though after, so I mean, it could have been.
Well, she was smiling after she got hit with that Bayley to belly suplex, and she got pinned by Sasha Banks. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if she was just having fun.
I think she was shocked, or I don't know what it was, but it was good to see that little added. It gives more personality to them at the end of the match.
Yeah,
and it was lovely to see. I mean, that match was brilliant from start. You know what? If you're strapped for time and only have like 30 minutes to watch one of these matches, go straight to that one. Yeah, I'd say go straight to the Fatal 4-Way.
Speaking of Charlotte, is her last name Flair? Is it Charlotte Flair?
They just call her Charlotte.
Okay, but I don't.
It's Ric Flair's daughter. It's Ric Flair's daughter.
Ric Flair's daughter. Speaking of Ric Flair,
really, you want to go there now?
Yeah.
Well, let's go there later. We have the big.
What is wrong with you with these time constraints and don't talk about this, don't talk about that? If we're talking about something,
we're just trying to do the recap right now. We'll hit them on the rundown. Give us more stuff to talk about on the rundown.
All right, fine.
I know you're excited and like all happy, and you're like you don't want to wash
guys,
your hands anymore.
If you guys want to hear what I have to say, which I'm sure you guys are going to want to hear,
you got to listen to the rundown then.
Yeah, listen to the rundown for sure because I got something awesome to tell you guys.
Yeah.
That Khaled won't let me say.
Anyway, the big match of the night that everyone was looking forward to, the rivalry that has been dates back to their ROH years. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Let's call them by their real names.
You mean El Generico versus Kevin Steen?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So
Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Match that we're all looking for.
That match was insane.
And
in the membrane.
A lot of people were upset with how it ended.
Those are the people that don't understand. Remember what I told you before? The WWE fans are fickle and they don't know what they want.
And I'll put you like this. Instant reaction for me when that match finished. What the hell just happened?
I was shocked. Because I didn't think a match could end like that with a title change.
And then after it sank in for a little bit, I thought to myself, they kept Sami Zayn strong because he never got pinned, never tapped out, kicked out of the last pinfall attempt. He kicked out of it. Match was stopped.
He didn't kick out.
Well, he like rolled over out. He rolled out
Barely.
of it. Right? The match was stopped because of the referee stoppage.
And the last time that I saw somebody lose a match but win the crowd, I'm not gonna say Sami Zayn won the crowd because he had already won the crowd, but made him look strong even though he lost the match, was a man they call Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, Bret Hart.
Yeah.
And I guess in a sense this could be kind of like that match for Sami Zayn, but at the same point, you put over Kevin Owens as this just ruthless, vicious guy that. Oh, I don't want to put him up there with Brock Lesnar because he's not Brock Lesnar.
No.
But I guess in a sense you could call him almost the Brock Lesnar of NXT for right now.
I wouldn't go that far. What I would call him is the guy that you don't want to mess with. Kind of like remember when Ryback turned heel?
Yeah.
And he was still beating people up?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously when he goes up against John Cena, but I could kind of see him as that the guy that could legitimately beat you up.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
if they would have wrote Ryback a little bit better, I think he could have been beating people up all day long.
Yeah, but I mean, Kevin Owens, I mean, that man, God, the brute. And it wasn't so much just the powerbomb after powerbomb after powerbomb. I mean, even the punches that he was landing on him, like while he was trying to get up and everything. I mean, it just looked brutal. You know, it made you believe. Like a part of me forgot that. Okay, this is scripted and everything else. For a while there, look, God, these two men, this man hates him right now.
They do a really good job of making you forget that it's scripted.
God, I mean,
it's hard to tell when it is and when it isn't.
But yeah, that was a match that great story. It told a story. You know, it told a story of two former friends who are going through, I guess, some anger problems right now or one another.
Right, and it really reminds me of one of my favorite rivalries, which is Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I mean, been friends forever. You know, they wanted to get up there at the same time, and he turned on them quick. And I think that was possible because of the story that they told immediately. Yeah, we were friends from day one, you know?
And then, I mean, think about it. When Kevin Owens turned on Sami Zayn, it was pretty much, you know, they saw Kevin Owens run down the ramp, and this was right after Sami Zayn won the title, of course. They're like, oh, here comes his lifelong friend, you know, Kevin Owens, come to congratulate him, all this stuff, and then he gets powerbombed. And then the story picks up from there. And I mean, the match that they had tonight, well, not tonight, but at Rival, told a story of their rivalry. In terms of fan,
no, okay.
But I mean, the rivalry between them was just. I'm looking forward to see what happens from here on out now with them.
Yeah, me too. I mean, how long is it going to take for Sami Zayn to come back?
That's a good question. I mean, last time he got written out of a story, he got written out of the Kevin Owens feud early. He was out for a couple of weeks and then he came back. You know, maybe they might do the same thing with him again. Keep him out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can see Owens coming out every week talking trash,
taunting for a little bit, and then Sami Zayn making a return.
Well, I mean, the first thing that's going to happen is Finn Balor comes out.
Oh yeah, that is going to be something to look forward to. Do we maybe turn this into a triple threat match between Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Sami Zayn?
Fatal 4 with Adrian Neville.
We throw in Adrian Neville now with a Fatal 4. I mean, shoot, hell, let's throw in Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze while we make it six. Exactly. I mean, can you imagine that though?
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be beautiful. Throw in a ladder, why not? Make it a ladder match.
Throw some chairs.
TLC match, here we go.
Alright, let's do it.
But that match, 4.5, easily for me. I could give it a 5, but it's hard for me to give like I said, I love the finish, but it's hard for me to give a 5 to a match that didn't have a clean, so to say, finish.
Right.
So I'll say 4.5.
I'll give it a 4.5 too, only because you didn't see him go all the way through with the match. I mean, it kind of had to get called.
Yeah. My 2 5-stars for the night, though. My two 5-star matches of the night is going to go straight up to. Actually, no. I'll bring the Finn Balor one down to 4. Would have liked to see it be a little bit more physical between the two of them, but the Fatal 4 Divas match, I give straight up 5. I mean, it was well done.
Those girls worked their hearts out. Like I said, they want to be in the ring, and they proved it.
Oh yeah. Overall, easily a 4 out of 5 for the entire show.
Same here, 4 out of 5.
This was a show that honestly, for me personally, if it was not for one match, I could have made it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that's where we're at on this one. Let's see what they do for the next 6 to 8 weeks before we see the next Takeover show.
And are we going to see an NXT match at WrestleMania? I've been hearing rumors.
We should talk about that on Rundown and what we'd like to see. So if you guys want to hear us talk more wrestling, tune into Two Guys, a podcast, and Wrestling Rundown. See ya.
Peace.